All right, everybody, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Wire podcast, part of ProWrestlingWire.net, part of AIWF Network. This is Rick Del Santo, your host. Joining me today, the former Motor City Madman, Michael Moore. How are you today?
Great, Rick. How are you doing today?
I'm great. As we were talking prior to recording, it's freezing out here, and I'm very, very jealous that you're nice and warm out there in Las Vegas.
It's been chilly too. It's been down to the 50s.
That is kind of chilly out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into a little bit of your history in professional wrestling and sports and growing up. Did you play sports as a kid? I mean, I believe that you spent some time in amateur wrestling, correct?
Yeah, I wrestled in high school. My dad wouldn't let me play football. He was especially my stepdad. He was focused on academics.
Right.
He wanted to be an academic, so he just wanted me to stay away from football. So I was allowed to join the wrestling team. I wrestled and I played a little bit of basketball, but my my heart wasn't there.
Right.
I really wanted to play football. So
Okay.
after that, I did a little bit of boxing. I went to actually, kind of strange is that I didn't play football in high school, but I walked on and became a football player on Temple's University's football team. And then all season I would box. So I really enjoyed boxing, but the problem is I was born in Germany. I'm a European white guy, and we cut. We we have
Right.
those sharp ocular bones. We get hit there, it's like a little gusher.
Right. Right.
So I probably could have made some money because I was a big white guy, but if I can't get the title, why do it? You know.
Yeah.
So
You ended up playing football for was it the Jersey Generals, correct? Is that right?
yeah, I got signed by the Generals, and I had a try me a little break in my ankle, and
Yeah.
then I wasn't able to play.
Right.
But
Now, I know this might sound weird, but I believe it was Donald Trump that owned that company, right? Or
that's correct. That's correct.
did you ever encounter him? Let's bring that up.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
that's why I find some of the things they say about him a little alarming because I didn't see
Right.
behavior in him back then. You
Yeah.
know, it's just politics is things we have to stay off topic anymore. But I don't believe a lot of stuff they say about him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't normally talk politics, but I just thought it was interesting that you played football for him. For
Yeah.
the
So getting back to the boxing, you might find this interesting. Is that when I was fighting out of Mickey Rosati's gym in South Philadelphia, and I don't know if you remember Tex Cobb?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, he was fighting out Joe Frazier's in Philadelphia. So I became his sparring partner. So
Okay.
he was a great guy. I mean, I could have made some money in boxing, but like I said, my passion wasn't there.
Right. Yeah. And how did you get interested in the world of professional wrestling? Were you a fan at all growing up, or was it just one of those things that happened?
It's just one of those things that happened. I can't
Really?
remember exactly how it happened. I can't remember if I met Buddy Rogers first or if I met Pretty Boy Larry Sharp first, but they were the owners of the Monster Factory. And
Right.
then they talked me into, getting into wrestling. And I went to their wrestling school. It was easy for me because I already had a black belt in judo. So I already knew how to fall and how to protect myself and everything else. But while I was there were only a couple of us, and then Bam Bam Bigelow came along. And then Scotty and I were the first two guys to graduate from the Monster Factory in New Jersey back in the
So that
day.
was probably early '80s, I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing
Mid
around.
About mid 80s.
Yeah, 'cause I remember he did some time at World Class, probably around that time. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember exactly the timeline, but um, you spent some time. I mean, you spend a little bit of time in the AWA as well.
Yeah. Yeah, back
Right.
when they were doing the TV tapings out of Atlantic
Yeah,
City.
it was oh, Atlantic City Showboat Casino, I believe. Yep.
It was back when they had who do they have? They had Junkyard Dog. Did they have I think they had, remember Baron von Raschke?
Aaron Von Raschke.
I
Yep.
think he wrestled with them. Yeah, there were some old school wrestlers in the AWI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. was a. I used to watch that because we got it on ESPN up here. Like we're at that time period. You got the face guys like Sergeant Slaughter and Kurt Hennig. Do you remember those guys? And of course, meeting Rick Martel. Anything about working with those guys?
Yeah, I remember all those guys. I had a lot of good times in the AWA. A lot of guys got their start. That's where I first met um, The Undertaker. That's where I first met Scott Hall. It's
Okay.
where what do you say, Kurt Hennig?
Yep.
All those guys were in there. It was a lot of fun. Rick Martel, I ran into years later. We were wrestling in Kentucky, I want to say, and
Okay.
Rick wanted to take me up for a suplex. And I'm like, about that back in that days, I was weighing 320 pounds. So I'm like, hey, Rick, are you sure you can control me? Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay, no problem. Well, he takes me up and, well, didn't quite control me. And we went down, bumped heads, and I'm just sitting there like a cartoon, seeing the birds flying around. And
Right.
Ricky Martel's like, cover me, cover me. I'm like, I can't. So the referee became a heel and covered us. But from that, he invited me to Montreal to work up there with him and Dino Bravo for a year. And that was probably one of the best years of my life. I had so much fun in that territory.
Was that international wrestling? Was that what
You
it
know,
was?
Lutte International, yep.
Yep. Yep. And I didn't know that. I didn't come across that. But what was that like? You said it was one of the best times of your career, right? What was it?
Yeah,
What was it like working up there in Canada?
it was a lot of fun. The people were really appreciative. I mean, the Canadian people were unbelievably receptive. I mean, you go into town, they know you're on the road all the time, especially in
Yep.
those days, we were driving everywhere, and they would say, hey, don't stay at your hotel, stay at our house. They're really, really cool people. And up there, I worked with Samu. Remember Samu?
Absolutely. Yep.
From the Wild Samoan family. And,
He
and
actually lived in Connecticut for a while, I believe. The Samoans lived in Hamden, Connecticut. It was
that's
like
right.
10 minutes from where I live. I lived in Hamden for probably 20 some odd years. So,
That's
yeah.
funny because that's a small world. I worked
Yeah.
for them, Alpha Seeker, for a while.
Okay.
So he shows up and down the East Coast.
Right. Right.
Those guys were some characters too. But
Yeah.
yeah, Samu was fun. Tonga Kid, I mean, everybody up there was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I lived in Hamden, like I said, 20 years. And then I lived in Woodbridge, Connecticut, which Dr. D. David Schultz also lived in Woodbridge for the gas station that was literally probably within walking distance of my house. Had autographed pictures of David Schultz hanging up in the the cash register because he was a regular there. I never ran into him ever. And then
yeah.
that was the town that I grew up in. So
Oh, I ran into him. We
so
uh we went actually it was for Alpha and Sika. We did a show in Cairo, Egypt.
oh wow.
Yeah, and he was on the card. He was a character too. He was quite the character. That little doctor bag he carried around,
Mhm.
that wasn't fake. That was any doctor would have been proud to have that bag, trust me.
Uh, I also have in my notes that you took on. You got a chance to work with WWF for a brief period. And you took on Ricky Steamboat, Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. You remember wrestling for the WWF and maybe why you didn't stick around there?
Wow, you did your research. I'm
Oh,
impressed.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
Always.
it's what happened was I got invited up to Braniff, Ontario. I think it's Wayne Gretzky's hometown in Canada. They were
Yep.
doing TV tapes up there, and they brought me up. George Scott was the booker back then,
Mhm.
and then he brought me up to um, do some dark matches so they could see how the crowd reacted to me and everything else. So I went up there, and the first match was Paul Orndorff. Was it Paul Orndorff? I think Paul Orndorff, the guy that did who was doing um, the neck breaker back then, pile driver.
He was doing the jumping pile driver. He was like the first one that jump up probably a couple feet and he was
Right.
breaking people's necks, etc. You know.
Yeah, well, he couldn't jump up with me. But kayfabe is gone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So the finish was he was supposed to give me the pile driver, and then I was supposed to lay there and they carry me out, right? Well, the match starts and it was a little bit more physical
Mhm.
than maybe should have been. So I'm thinking, it's the beginning of the match, I mean, nerves are a little high and everything else. Well, I had to say something to him during the match, and the referee heard the whole conversation, right? So make a long story short, I don't know how this happened. I take a pile driver, I'm laying there, and then the referee's counting me out, and he's like, Vince wants you to get up, but slowly, really slowly. It wouldn't have hurt him at all because this was a dark match. Only the people in the arena would have seen that. You know what I mean? So I get up, I shake it off and walk back. And I walk past the control room, and there's yelling and screaming, going, "Ah, guy was going to kill me!" Yada yada yada. So I'm laughing. I go back to take a shower. I'm thinking, oh no, I get called into Vince's office first, into the room, and Chief Jay was there, Vince was there, I think Jesse Ventura was there, a bunch of people were there. And Vince just asked me point blank, what happened? I said, Mr. McMahon, I said, I want to work for you guys because this is where the money's at. I said, but to be honest with you, no one's going to hurt me. It's not going to happen. And he was like, fair enough. And I walked out and I figured I was done. I'm back there taking a shower, and then George Scott came back and said, hey, we could do a match with Ricky Steamboat. So I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna send me a message. There's gonna be like a 3-on-1 match or something. That's what I'm thinking. But no, hell, Ricky Steamboat. Let me tell you something. You want to talk about somebody that's talented?
Oh yeah,
That guy was incredible. You had to be present to react to the stuff that he was doing because he's right there. I was really impressed with him. But
yeah,
at the time, the politics, I was there for fun. I was wrestling
right,
for fun, and at the time, the politics up there didn't match my politics, and I don't mean Senate, Congress. I mean
right.
there was
Yep.
some stuff. We'll leave it there. Stuff going on in the office that I don't want to be part of. And then I just happened to run. It was I don't know, less than a month later with Rick Martel, where he offered me the position in Canada, and I took it. And that was a great move. Do you remember Dino Bravo?
Absolutely. Yep.
So
Yep.
Dino Bravo we had a big feud, and we were in Quebec wrestling, and I didn't know that he had a ruptured or had a bad appendix. So we're going at it, and I like the style up there because it's close. I like the
Mhm.
contact.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was close, and we had some great matches. But we were wrestling in Quebec, and I threw him outside the ring, not knowing about his appendix. Right, and I threw him in the rails. And make a long story short, his appendix ruptured, and they had to rush him to the hospital. And he's like a national treasure. He was, God rest in
That's
peace,
funny. Like a
national
huge
treasure.
baby. He was a huge baby face up there at that time period, I believe. Right.
Exactly. Opposite from real life. I
Yeah.
mean, he was a nice guy in real life, but he had some things going on that a lot of people didn't know about.
Yeah.
But
Well, there was a TV documentary about him a couple years ago, the Dark Side of the Ring episode on him. I'm not sure if you saw it or not.
I have to go back and watch some of those things.
They're
I
all on YouTube. So
yeah, I tried to watch the movie with Rourke, Mickey Rourke, the wrestler it was called, and
yep.
I got into about 15 minutes of the movie, and I couldn't watch it anymore because it reminded me of some people that I know.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So I never watched the movie. I gotta go back and watch that again anyway. But so Dino Bravo, so throw him out and they rush him, rush him to the hospital. So I was a big heel up there. I was
Yeah.
on Mountain Moore, and they're doing interviews. They do interviews in Canadian, French, excuse me, and they do interviews in English. So I'm there. I'm saying, "How do you feel about sending our national treasure to the hospital?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you something. He's not injured. He's there getting an operation." They're like, "Oh, how could you say that? What kind of operation could he possibly be getting?" And I'm like, "He's getting some guts because he's got none." Oh, you want to talk about getting heat in Canada? It's cold there. And like in Toronto and the malls, a lot of the malls are closing on the ground, some are underground and everything else. I would
Right.
walk and people would cross. They would cross the street from me or across from the thing from me. Yeah, I guess that's got some good heat. But like I said, it was fun up there. It really was.
Yeah. I've been to Canada a couple times, and I absolutely loved it. Just
Yeah,
on vacation and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
This one was sent in by a friend. This next question while we were discussing this.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to work for the Savoldis in ICW? And were you one of the Mad Russians in the Savoldis territory, ICW, which I think at the time they're based out of Parsippany, New Jersey,
Wow.
but they would go all over the place. I was a huge ICW fan.
Right.
I discovered them in like 1987, 1988.
Right.
I didn't put the two and two together, but my friend, actually was that you in that
That was
agreement?
me.
That was
That was
definitely
me.
you.
Yep.
Do you remember working for Mario and Tommy at
Yeah.
all?
Yeah. I remember we were doing it. We did our shows in New England.
Yep.
And we were up a camp. We were in Sally Ride's hometown, the astronaut. That had the unfortunate accident.
Yep.
And what's his name? My partner. Oh, what a super nice guy. I can't think of his name right now. Um, all that comes to mind is Griswold from the movies, but it's very similar. But we're walking in the ring, and he pulls out. He says, "I'm going to get some heat." I'm like, "How?" He goes, pulls out a shuttle, little model of the shuttle that he had
Yep.
on his side, right? I'm like, "You pull that out in that ring." I said, "I'm going back to the locker room. You can, you're on your own, buddy, because there's a thing, there's such a thing as heat and there's killer heat, you know." And I didn't want that much heat. But yeah, just I can't say anything bad about my wrestling experiences. I really had a good time in all territories. I pretty much got along with all the boys,
Yep.
you know. So
And I think you returned to the AWA, and you got a win over Wild Bill Irwin. Sorry, I almost
yeah,
mixed up the name. Not like I didn't see him for my whole entire life. You were on a Pro Wrestling USA show, and
right.
you feel that you date a few dates. Were you in as part of the Long Riders at that during that time period?
So they had us when we worked the East Coast for Offensica. We had a very similar gimmick where we
Okay,
had the long coast and everything else. But Scott Irwin and who was his partner? They
it
were
was
the
his
long
brother,
riders. Yeah,
uh,
his brother, yeah,
Scott Irwin. Yep.
yeah, yeah. They were good people. They were good guys
I think
too.
Scott had passed away. I don't know if it was that time period, but I think that he had passed away, and I'm pretty sure the time period lines up around that time period.
Right. Well, I work with them in Canada also. They're good
Oh,
guys. Getting back to Mario and stuff. So do you know who my first manager was?
was it Paul Heyman?
Yeah, it
Yep.
was Paul Heyman back when he was a cub
Paulie,
reporter for like Russ. Sorry,
was he Paulie Dangerously at the
Paul
time?
Heyman. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and he's my first manager, and I really should have taken things a lot more seriously.
Mhm.
I really should have because I would have been there for the long haul, I think.
Right.
But yeah, it was just like I said, it was a good time for me.
Yeah. And I think that did he bring you into WCW
Yes,
around that time period? He was the connection because I think if I
yeah,
remember correctly, he was with you for a little bit, correct?
yes,
There. Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They brought me in to fight Lex Luger.
exactly. You feuded with Luger. I remember that around that time. That was 1990, I believe. 90,
Yep,
90 into 91. And
yep.
you feuded with Luger, and I know I met Luger a couple years later, and he wasn't the most pleasant man, but around when he went to WWF. So, what was he like around that time period? With around
I didn't really hang out with him too much. At the time, talking to other guys, he had his own gym, and a lot of
mhm,
guys trained there, and they said he was okay. I
yeah,
can't vouch for it. I will say this for him. I don't think he likes big guys.
mhm,
I think he's afraid of big guys.
yeah,
And if you watch some of our matches, you'll see. He don't really do any big moves and stuff.
yeah,
So, but like I said, I don't remember anybody saying anything cross, good, exceptionally good, exceptionally bad about him.
right,
That makes sense.
yeah. Before we go on with more WCW stuff, just wanted to ask that question. But I
Okay.
actually did have Mario Savoldi on the show a few years back, and pleasant guy. And it was like when he was launching his streaming network. So, um,
Right.
uh, what are your memory? Did you ever you came in contact with Mario and stuff like that, and you ended up working directly under him? Do you have any memories of Mario himself?
No, I actually don't. And what I can say about that is if I have memories, they would have been bad ones. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know
'Cause-
what you're saying. Yes.
yeah, because those are the things that really stick in your head. I don't have anything bad to say about them at all. I don't remember ever getting underpaid. Back in those days, it was a little different.
Right.
But I don't remember having any of those problems that some of the other promoters,
Hmm.
were causing or doing to their wrestlers. I remember everything always seemed to be above board.
Yeah. I've always heard weird mixed stories depending on who it was, like Chris Cruz from WCW,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
one day I was talking to him and he said something about, they didn't. they'd go to pay him, they'd give him a blank plate pay slip that was already signed, kind of a thing, and they'd keep the receipt and shit, change stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
Mario didn't necessarily deny it in the interview that I did with him either,
yeah.
but he didn't admit to it either. So
It was, it was a different time.
right.
It, uh, it really was a different time. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I'm reminiscing in my
Oh
head for a second.
no, I love that time period. Honestly, I go back and watch it. I don't really watch a lot of modern stuff. I just go back and watch stuff. Excuse me,
Yeah,
1980s. You know what I mean? And you know, I watch a lot of the Savoldis stuff too, which is kind of a lot of people. They own the rights a lot to a lot of footage as well.
wow,
That's necessarily there's there's some Central States stuff,
right.
Popo's ICW, USWA stuff like that. They own like all this like random stuff and they have now a streaming network that they launched 2 years ago as well, which is
Yeah,
really cool to like find a lot of that stuff. They don't necessarily upload it in a timely manner either.
right,
That's
right, right, right.
so
When we get to it.
yeah, for all the tapes that they have, and for fans of obscure '80s wrestling, they don't. We're always wanting more. So it's like they'll upload like 5 videos in a week. I'll watch them all, and it's like it'll be a month before they upload something else. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
exactly. So we talked about Paulie Dangerously, him bringing you into WCW. Of course,
Right.
you guys went to Windy City Wrestling for a while as well, and you kind of dominated the scene there with him as your manager as well.
I don't remember.
You don't?
That'd be funny. There was,
No,
like I said, that was a different time. I was
yeah,
never, I was never a druggie, but I liked my alcohol back in the day. Never during a match, never before a match. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
there were some fuzzy times. So where do we work? What do we work for Windy City? Do you remember?
It's got to be around the same time period. I'm guessing between, I guess anywhere between 87 and 89, because I know you went over to WCW in 1990. I remember you
Right.
coming in.
I went to
And
Puerto Rico too.
okay, what was it like in Puerto Rico for WWC you went, right?
Yeah, it was Puerto Rico again. I did say the same thing. It was a lot of fun. But I
Yeah.
got to tell you something. Back in the day, the wrestling we did a lot of matches in baseball parks, like
Hmm.
baseball, and they would put the ring like on the mound, and then the closest seats would be the stands, the grandstands, and they put chicken wire and everything else because they would throw batteries, spark plugs at you, batteries, the whole night. They were
Yeah.
some serious fans. I mean,
Yeah.
it was no military base, so everything was fenced. And it was Dick Murdoch and I were a tag team at the time, and Dick was wrestling uh, Carlitos Colon,
The
right?
Carlos Colon. Yep.
That owns the territory.
Yep.
So he was wrestling him, and you know he's making his comeback on everything. Leo stops him, and then starts turning ties on him. I come from the locker room, right, hit the ring, and boom, boom, we tag team Carlitos and Big Gigs, and he's out on the floor bleeding, and the fans rioted. The fans rioted. So we ran out of the ring. We had to run back to the locker room, right? We couldn't go anywhere because it was a military base and everything was fenced in. The whole area out there, we were stuck there, and they had to bring the security for the thing was the police, also Puerto Rican police, and they
Right.
had to bring the whole police department in to get us out of there. I remember we were in the car, police car, and there were carpet knives and everything else on the windshields as they went by. Yeah, it was
I've
pretty.
heard lots of scary stories of the Carlos Colon's territory. I used to have a ton of those videos too. So
Well,
it was like the fans would just riot for what seemingly no reason to
yeah,
normal, you know.
I think it was part of the program. He just, okay, do the riot, and off they went. But it was the time in Puerto Rico itself. It was
Yeah.
it was nice because after that happened, the next day everything was normal. No one was looking to hurt us. It was over with. And as a pro wrestler, recognizable wrestler, well, I was able to go a lot of places that tourists can't go.
Hmm.
So I will go into there's a rainforest up there, beautiful in the mountains, and we go up there and we get to the yucca stands and we sit there and we eat yucca and drink beer with the people. And we went to, I remember a hole in wall bar by the airport we would go to. It was like on a cliff overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful, but you didn't go there as a tourist.
Right.
Went there, didn't have any windows, they had pool tables. We go there, have fun. The people were as as violent as they were at the arenas, they were as friendly outside, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you.
So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. Uh, you remember ever working for Herb Abrams in the UWF?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
That's good. Yeah.
I have to ask you, did I work with
Yeah,
them?
that's according to my notes. Yeah, as under your guess you wrestled Bob Orton according to my research, but Bob Orton was there. Kind
I
of
may have.
do more research. I'll try to find the video and send it over to you.
Right. I may
Um,
have.
yeah, I mean it was we're talking 35 years ago probably.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
40 close to 40 years ago, I guess you can say.
Yeah. I'm,
So
I'm 69
yeah.
now, so
Oh, bless you, sir. Bless you.
thank you. Fortunately, and I have all the surgeries to prove it. Two brand new knees. I had open heart surgery 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Just for a valve though. My heart's super strong. Just for a repair on a valve.
Yep.
But yeah, if I had known what it would have done to my body back
Hmm.
then, I would have still done it. I would have still done
Hey, that's what I was gonna say. Don't say you wouldn't have because a lot of
it. I would have still
always
done it.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
a lot of people say that they wouldn't have, but then they changed their mind. It still would have.
yeah, yeah,
You got a chance to wrestle Kerry Von Erich on an independent show,
yes.
or IWA. I remember when this happened actually because it was kind of I think it was covered in one of the magazines. You know what I mean? At that
Right.
time period. So, and I think I think that might have been right after his WWF run, or uh, maybe before. So,
Uh,
what do you remember about working with Kerry? I think let me see. Yeah,
I,
he also wrestled, I guess, Tommy Rogers, Jason Knight, and that
yeah,
same.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember now distinctly him walking into the locker room. Um, Seemed like a good guy. Again, not one of the guys I hung out with because he was in and out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But he seemed like a nice enough guy. It's sad what happened to that family. You know,
Absolutely.
it really is. It's just every time news came out, it was something going on with the Von Erichs. I felt sorry for the father. Well,
Yeah.
actually, the brothers too, obviously, but as a
Well,
father,
one, yeah,
yeah,
there's only one left now. Kevin is the only one that's
yeah,
still around. So I spoke to Kevin. I didn't interview him, but we spoke online one day, and we were
mhm,
actually talking about the Savoldis
right,
because he said that I guess I knew more information than your normal human being when he sold the territory to the Savoldis and they did a merger, and he was shocked that anybody knew about it, and he said he never received a dime from them either. So
yeah.
so regarding
And
that,
we are surprised. Why?
yeah, well, it's professional wrestling too.
Exactly. It's a work. Oh,
Yeah, Tommy Rogers, the late Tommy Rogers.
yeah,
Anything about him at which who to me he was a terribly underrated worker. Mostly tag team with
right.
Bobby as a fantastic over the year. Had a couple singles runs on the the Florida territories and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
was it IWA? Maybe IWA.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was a good worker.
yeah,
I never worked with him directly.
no,
Same shows, no, but he seemed like a good guy. Um, just backtrack for a second. So
sure.
Mario worked with the Wild Samoans.
Yeah, probably, most likely, because I know that they came in there quite a bit. So I think they ran the was it TWWF at the time or something similar to that.
Some,
In the
yeah,
90s.
yeah,
Yeah, and I remember reading about it in some of the magazines, and it's
mm,
literally around the corner, like in the next town over from where I live too. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right there, and you're right in the hub of
yeah,
everything, especially back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean,
man.
Connecticut right now is a hot spot for independent wrestling. I mean, it's really there's shows just about every weekend. Massachusetts as well, so there's
Really?
always
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's New England's a real hot area these days. Right
Yeah.
here, it's funny because we moved to this town. My son starts going to this high school here, Sheehan High School. And
Mm,
do you remember Maniac Jimmy Dio at all? He
no.
worked with Savoldis. It's It's a rare name. So
Right.
one day he posted online the results from a show or an advertisement for a show that took place. It was the same exact high school that my son was attending at the time, and this was
Right.
going back some like 1987. So it's to me that was like kind of really special in a way, and really really cool.
Right.
It's they used to they would always the Savoldis would always run like say Wallingford. There's a car dealership they would always run in Wallingford, Connecticut, right off
I
the
remember,
highway.
I remember Wallingford. I do remember Wallingford. Yes. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a lot of it's a great town if you ask me.
Mm.
There was a car dealership that was like a round circle. They put a ring in the center, and
Right.
there was a lot of like Savoldi guys, Samoan guys, and Tony Rumble would actually run
Right.
here as well. Between
Right.
here and the next town over, which is Meriden, Connecticut, he would run there as well. I don't know if you remember Meriden at all ever.
Uh,
No,
it's a whose bar did we hang out there a lot? It was I think he was the former manager for the Dodgers. We had a bar in what's the name of Vince's town where the office
Stanford.
is?
Stanford.
Stanford, yeah, he had a bar in there. So we spent more time in Stanford than anywhere else. But we did. I mean, obviously, we went all through Connecticut for small shows and high schools and everything else, and fairs. And
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. There's a couple fairs here that hold wrestling. North Haven Fair. It's another
right,
town, depending on which way you go. It's the other town over.
right.
Are you talking about Tim White's bar? He owned a bar. Referee Tim White, maybe.
No, it wasn't a referee. It was a baseball player.
Okay.
It was probably talking about some years ago. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
probably he's probably gone because if
Yeah.
he's buying a bar, his career was over from baseball. So he was probably up to in years also.
Yeah. They do stuff like that when they retire and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You briefly teamed with the Night Stalker Brian Clark. Any memories of Brian Clark? This was before he went to WWF as Adam Bomb. I remember. No, no. This is
Yeah, guys,
yeah.
guys, everybody out there in listening land, I apologize. A couple
Okay.
shots to the head and a couple shots to the mouth. You forget things.
Professional wrestling. Once again, that's it. Just use it as an.
Exactly.
I could
Yep.
always edit stuff out so make it sound more, you know. So,
It's
um,
the best analogy I can make is that when I was playing football, you spent
uh-huh,
the week before the game going over the players, the plays they don't use and that kind of stuff, and you get to know the team you're playing against, right?
right,
Wrestling wasn't that way. Because you could be one guy's coming in from Wallingford, one guy's coming in from Stanford, and they're wrestling, somewhere else. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And it was not like you didn't study your opponent like
right.
you did for other sports.
Yeah,
So I was always the guy that who am I working with tonight? Oh, okay, hey, you know,
that's how it was then.
yeah,
Today, and I was talking to this guy Chris Whaley, who wrestled in Texas as the Saint, and
mm,
we were just talking the other night, and he became a pastor, and he was talking about how back in the day, he never knew who he was wrestling until he got there. And then it turned to, it's like he went to an AEW show recently. And then there was, because he was
right,
friends with Jeff Jarrett and he was hanging around, all everybody is practicing in the ring. So basically, they're all choreographing everything that they were going to. That's the difference between wrestling back then and wrestling today. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like
right,
really practiced, and set up and choreographed. It's like, and you can tell when something's really, really, really choreographed because a lot of times
yeah.
I'll just be like, I can't take this shit, and then I'll change it.
Right. Sorry, my dogs are here, brother. Can you pause the recording for 1 second, please?
Sure,
I
sure,
apologize. Could you just in 1 second, okay?
not a problem. There we go. Okay, what about now you guys got thrown together, you and Curtis Hughes, and then I guess then
Hey,
you went big,
he was a
big.
great guy. He was a great guy.
Oh yeah, I ran into him in a hotel not so long ago,
Mhm.
maybe 2 years ago at a
Right.
convention, and well, basically, I helped him find where he was supposed to go because I saw him at the counter, and they
Uh,
didn't know where he was. And yeah, I'm like, "You looking for the convention?" And it's that way, basically. So he was really nice, friendly guy. He was real chill. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
What do you really liked working with him at all? Because he seemed, as much as he looked scary like that on TV, the
right.
times that I've met him, he was so friendly.
He's really good people. He really is. It's funny. A lot of the characters seem to be alter egos. You
Right.
know what I mean? So the heels are actually really nice guys,
Hmm.
and the nice guys are some of
Oh,
them. Yeah, we know how it goes.
yeah.
I will say, I will say one thing. Back in the day,
Mhm.
the girls like the heels. I'll leave that
Interesting.
one there.
Very interesting. Uh, this is the weird part. In a rare heel versus heel match,
Right.
Arcade 1990, you wrestled the Skyscrapers. Any memories of this match at all?
Yeah, and it's we had finished our run with Lex Luger,
Hmm.
and it was time for me to get on down the road. You know what I mean? So basically what that was, they asked us to put over the skyscrapers. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah, they were trying to build them up a little bit. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was the one leaving the territory. So I'm the one that took the fall.
right.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was Spivey and
Was it Spivey and was it
Sid
Sid or
Bishop. Was
was
it
it Sid?
Sid?
Yeah,
I think it may have been Sid. I worked a lot of shows up and down the East Coast with Sid.
yeah.
As a character.
Oh yeah,
I
oh yeah,
mean, it was always nice to meet and everything else, but that's the guy you don't want to run into in a dark alley. Or maybe not even a lit alley.
yeah. Right. Memories of working with Skandar Akbar. You had him as a manager briefly as well. Do you remember this? And
Yeah, I've
Skandar?
never seen her. Yeah. Yeah, it was, you know how managers work in the business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was just the, the best thing. The funniest thing I remember is Kamala. Remember Giant Kamala?
Yep.
So we were working and he comes out, Scanner's there, and he comes out, he starts tapping his belly, tapping his belly, tapping his belly, and everything else. And I look at him, I said, I see you're making a lot of noise. I said, I don't wrestle anybody whose name I can't spell. Because they had a long name back then, you know? And
Yep.
they just look at me like, what the hell's mad with this guy? I was the jokester.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like when
Yeah.
we were uh doing the East Coast thing, and it was Davey Rogers' son, Davey, and San Martino's son were a tag
Oh,
team
David San Martino. Yep.
back in the day, yeah. So we were working the kind of like a long rider gimmick back then. So we'd done quite a few towns together. So one night we go, and I want to say this is Atlantic City. I think this is Atlantic City. And I had put we wore jeans and the long rider coats. So I took a bunch of socks and put them in my jeans. So there was a huge,
Yeah.
bulge in
Yep.
the front, right? I walk out, I got my coat, clothes, and everything else. And of course, it's every night they'll go, look at him, he's got a foreign object. He's got a foreign object. So I said, all right, I'll show you my foreign object. And I opened that tape up, the long rider coat, and what a pop! I popped, and the referee's like, take it out, take it out. And I start pulling out these socks. But you can't do that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
your
it's a different
character
time.
has to match.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a different time period. Like you said,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
You can't
fun.
get away with anything like that on TV these days.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. Oh Lord, I could imagine. Yeah, that
Through. Go ahead. Sorry.
no good.
Through working with Paul E. all those
Mhm.
years, on and off all those years, did he try to get you to ECW at all when he went there and took it over? And was there a chance? Now I heard this rumor, not sure how true
Right.
it is. Was there a chance that he was trying to get you in there to play the 911 character?
I honestly I don't know. Paul and I never discussed that.
Right.
I did show up at some of the shows invited.
Mhm.
But Paul and I had a friendship.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So I just assumed it was because of the friendship. Um, Paul was good to me.
Yeah.
Paul was a good guy. I like Paul a lot. Um, and I think he may have sensed that for me it was a lark.
Hmm.
And maybe he didn't want to invest. If maybe he had that along his thing that I don't know, but maybe he realized that he didn't want to invest that kind of time or promotion to somebody who may not be there, a year or two down the road.
Right.
I'm just thinking. This was never expressed. I'm
Right.
just thinking that. You know what I mean? If he had offered me something, I would have said yes. It's what he did was with the ECW, in my opinion, was a stroke of genius.
Absolutely.
Stroke of genius. And then got Vince to come in and buy him out and everything else, and look where he's at now.
He's had a job for God knows how many years. It's closed
Yeah,
24 years ago, going on 25 probably.
yeah,
And he's been at WWE since pretty much the whole time. I think he was, probably stepped away for a brief period. Uh,
yeah,
Look at him now. He's on TV every single week for the last few years. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And the fact is, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I've been watching him probably even before his AWA days. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like I
right,
remember when he was in the NWF as like
mhm,
as doing interviews and stuff like that. So 1987, probably 1986. That
right,
guy's been around a long time and a key player for many, 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 for decades. And you don't get a lot of people like that still
yeah,
around that long.
yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, he was a good promotion guy. I remember he got a show into Member Studio 54.
Yeah.
He got a
Yep.
show in Studio 54.
Yeah.
When
He
he
used to talk
first,
about it on WCW TV, like joking around. You thought it was a part of a character, but it was kind of legit.
no, Heyman Hustle. He was a hustler.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say he's a kid now, but he was a sharp kid back in the days. I looked at him, there was this young kid with a camera from Wrestling Night Magazine, and he
Yep.
has he had his finger from the beginning on the pulse of wrestling.
Yeah.
He really did.
He's got a great eye for talent.
Yeah.
Uh, he knows where to stick himself. You know what I mean? As far as that kind of stuff goes. So I think genius is probably, people use that word very loosely when they come to talking about things. But Paul Heyman, I'd have to say is a legit genius and still to this day, probably
Yeah.
40 some odd years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine of all the promotions out there? Now, of course, Vince pretty much has everything tied up now. Okay. But back
Yep.
in the day, with all the promotions you had, the regional promotions and everything else, all the storylines. You
Hmm.
know, at what point do you sit down and go all of a sudden, well, WCW had that problem actually, I think. But you sit down and go, there are no storylines left.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are, but you think that because you think you've seen them all. And you think that everybody in wrestling has seen it all. But they haven't.
Right.
The time was regional and everything else. And that's why I think Paul is a genius, is that they keep coming up with these storylines. Some of them are good, some are not so good. I mean, but they keep the ball rolling,
Yeah.
and that's a hard thing to do when you've been doing it for that long, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Do you still watch wrestling at all today?
no.
It's okay.
No, once all the guys I worked with, and there's still guys in the business I work with that are the office and that kind of stuff now, I stopped watching. You know what I mean? Um, People around me watch it all the time. I hear, people talk to me about wrestling all the time, and I have to be like, who? Um, Look, don't get me wrong. If I'm flipping through channels and something it comes on, I'll watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
just to see what's going on with the business and everything else, I'll watch it. But to follow the storylines, no, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Understandable. Understandable.
Mm.
Can you tell us about the Race for Humans project that you have?
Yeah, that's something. I started it and I stepped away from it, and then I'm stepping back into it. How'd you, man? You're sharp. I don't know. It's
I do my research here.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I'm stepping back into it now. And basically, because of what's going on in the world, like we're talking about politics earlier, but not just the politics in the United States, the politics. My wife is Filipina, and they have
Oh,
the same thing going on in the Philippines right now.
right.
Look what's happening in England and Ireland and everywhere. And
Yeah.
so years ago, I started this thing called the Race for Unity, and it was kind of like a play on words. The race being we need to rush to unity, or also the race being the human race.
Right.
So I had a logo that's like the back in the day when there were jackets called members only. It had a round
Yep.
patch on it. Yeah. So
Definitely.
I had a patch made, designed. It says inside it's white with a helix, DNA helix, and it says member human race. And then
That's
around it it says united we stand, divided we fall. So now I'm working now to get that t-shirts and the hats and all that stuff out there and trying to get some money to start getting this program out there because we're never going to be of the same mind. And I don't want everybody to be the same mind. Diversity is a spice of life. That's
Yeah.
why we have different foods, different clothing, different music, the whole nine yards. Okay.
Yep.
And you know what? You don't want to lose that. But we have to come to an understanding that we have to do what's best for all of us. Um, Let me step into politics just for 1 second. Like right now, there's a push to have the Senate and Congress the term limits, and have to participate in the insurances that they vote on. Which,
Right.
as a human, how can you not say that's a great idea?
Right.
Because they're going to vote on the same coverage that we're going to get. Okay. So
Yep.
it's just things like that. We have to come together as humans to protect ourselves from what's already come, and what's coming down the road.
Yeah.
So
We're living in a wild, wild time right now. The last few years, we've been living in a crazy time. So,
crazy
especially,
times.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, it's kind of ironic coming from a heel, but I don't understand this hate. How can you hate somebody you've never met?
yes,
It's just I don't want to get on a soapbox. I just think it's nuts.
yeah,
So
I don't disagree with you.
yeah.
Yes. So,
So hopefully I can get that thing going. And my goal is to get the t-shirts and hats out there. So somebody's wearing it. Maybe somebody's, we all have bad days. And we all said things out of anger that weren't meant. Yeah, I
mhm,
mean, it's something stupid. You threw it out there, but it's not on a string. You can't pull it back. So it's happened to everybody. But I'm hoping is that people start wearing the shirts, and then somebody's out there, somebody's having a bad day, and they come in a situation, and there's somebody standing there with that shirt, that says, "Hey, we stand humans," and the person thinks, "You know what? That's right. I should this not let this go." You know,
right.
that's my ultimate goal. I'm not. It's That's the only other thing I can change the world. Maybe if I can change people's interactions here and there, I'm good with it.
That's awesome. Like, that's
So
a really great goal. Seriously.
thank you.
There's, why don't you tell anybody else what you're up to today? And if they want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Okay, you can reach out to me, obviously on Facebook.
Yep.
It's what's my I don't know bad thing is it Big Mike 337.
I find you on your regular page.
Oh well, yeah. You can reach me on Facebook. Should I give my email?
Sure. If you
Okay.
feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you my personal email. It's Michael Michael at Michael Michael Moore Moore, then the letters N as in Nancy, L as in Lima, P as in Peru.com. So it's Michael at michaelmoorenlp.com. That's actually the best way to get a hold of me because right now I work for Wynn Resorts in Las Vegas. It's a five-star facility. I'm a production manager there for the shows. I'm still in entertainment. I'm a production manager for the shows. Love the job. That's why I haven't retired yet. I do. I mean, a couple of days ago, I worked with Leona Lewis. We have all I mean, every single A-lister comes through there, the shows and everything else. We do corporate events, and every day is different. That's as you get older, I like that. I like the variety. So that's pretty much where I'm at now.
All right. That's great. Sounds like you're doing great these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Good. Good.
Just other
Uh,
than just muscle aches and bone bruises, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Michael, I want to say thank you very much for joining me here today, and I really appreciate you coming on. So we'll have to do this again sometime if you're ever open.
I'm always open. Rick, I appreciate you reaching out and contacting me. It was a nice surprise. It really was. And so I really enjoyed doing this and I really enjoyed talking to you. So anytime you want to reach out, anytime you want to call, um, I'll give you my cell phone number. You don't have that, right?
Nope, you can give
Okay.
it to me off there. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah, over there. Yeah, I'm sorry to everybody out there. I can't give my cell phone number because I am a production manager and I get thousands of calls as it is. So, but yeah, if you want to hit me up and say hi, hit me up on that email.
yep.
And then if you want to send out my Facebook page, you can do that also.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you very much for. Thank
Pleasure.
you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening, and have a great, great, great holiday season. Cheers.